welcome back to Unfiltered Kitchen. And as promised, today we're gonna
dive into questions.
We're gonna dive right into questions because
last time we talked ourselves out.
Yes,
we talked right by the questions.
We did. Okay, there was one that we wanted to pull up from Unfiltered Kitchen's page. So it says, "Hey, Papa Floyd, I would like to remain anonymous. I have a question for you, if you don't mind giving some advice from experience or just being a man. What is your stance on men cheating in a relationship? Do you believe men can cheat and still love their partner? My boyfriend of almost 2 years recently cheated on me. I found out via text messages in his phone of a girl he was talking to that works at his job for almost over a month. He told me they were just texts and the conversation was meaningless. His stance is that men can do those things if he is a provider, a leader, takes care of our daughter, his stepdaughter, and tells me all the time his heart is with me and he would die for us. However, he says as a man, men can get away with those things because they don't have any emotional attachment to the girl as women do if women cheat. I personally don't think it makes it right, even if he is a provider, etc. What are your thoughts?"
Okay, so there's a lot to unload. There's some things he said that are true. Some things that he said make no sense. So let's start from, well, I'm going to start not even on them. It's going to tie into them, okay? And I know there are people that aren't going to want to hear this. Or it's going to take them a minute to digest this. But I think once you hear it, you will clearly understand it. So we are animals.
Okay.
We're mammals.
Okay.
Okay. God created plants, animals, Okay. In his creation, he created some animals, whether they be mammal or live by the ocean, to mate and have a soul mate for their life.
Okay.
There are some animals that are like that. I know there's some bird species that are like that. There are some water species that are like that. Okay. They mate for life.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And then there are other animals that do not mate for life. It's just, he didn't create it that way.
Okay.
Okay. It happens to be that man and woman were not created to mate for life.
Okay.
Okay. So what we're doing in the institute of marriage is we're going against our natural way. Our natural way is to go out and have relationships with, numerous people. That's our nature. Now, I'm not saying that's men's nature. That's our nature. Okay? But because of societal pressures, we've been boxed into believing that monogamy is the right way to live your life. But it's not a natural way. That's why men cheat. That's why women cheat. We're not a species that God created to be with one person. He's done it with some animals, and that's what they do. They stay with that one mate, and that's their life. He didn't make us that way. So that's just a side note. Okay? So back to him now. He started off talking about men can get away with this because they are a provider, take care of their child, That's all BS. That's him running game. Okay.
And it's terrible game.
It's terrible game. It's not
terrible game at that.
If you as a woman let somebody lay that kind of game down, then kind of shame on you.
Yeah, that's terrible game. I'd rather him play the game of
just deny it. Just lie and deny it. But
not deny it. I mean, she has the text, but at least just say I didn't mean anything.
Okay, and so that's the next point. Yes.
But saying I can do this because I provide, I can do this because I take care of your child, I can do this because I'm the man.
Right.
No, it does not work that way.
You can only do that if you allow him to do it. If the relationship allows him to do it. Okay?
Don't allow him to do it. Do not go out like that, girl.
Okay.
Don't do it.
But now to the second point.
There is no second point. She needs to bounce.
No.
If that's his mentality, yes.
Well, I mean, if that's his mentality, but let's go past his mentality, because she asked the question, can men be in relationships and just look at it like it's a piece of meat with no emotional attachment? And yes, they can.
Women can too.
I'm sure they can. Yeah. So could he still love you truly, love you deeply? He could. It could just be one of those hella mistakes. Young and dumb, you make mistakes.
He could, but I think that there's something else to it. I think the fact that he's excusing his behavior because he's the sole provider, and that's not okay.
Well, that is a strike. I mean, I don't agree with that either. Okay, but we've already voiced our opinions on that.
I think that shows a lot about his character.
Okay.
What's he going to do next and say, well, I paid the bills today, so I get to do this?
Yeah. I mean, well, we already said, we're in agreement. That doesn't buy you anything. Yeah. That's a responsibility that you have as a man, and as a mate, and as, a growing family. That's just part of the deal. It's like she's got responsibilities also. That doesn't excuse you from any behavior that's outside the norm of your family.
Right. It doesn't sound like he's saying, oh, shit, I got caught. It's not going to happen again.
No, he's trying to run a little head game.
He's saying, I have the right to do that. I pay the bills. I have the right to talk to her. I want to talk to her. It doesn't mean anything. It's just sex or it's just texting.
Okay. So we've already established, no, he does not have that right.
No, and I would much rather you go out and just screw someone on a drunk night than have a text thread with someone, because that's when stuff does get more than just sex.
Okay, stop.
That's when it's just, that's when you build an emotional connection.
You got to hear what you just said.
I'd rather you go out.
You'd rather have your person sleep with somebody.
And it's a one-time mistake
about it
than you sitting here texting with this person all day for months. Yeah.
So you'd rather your person actually sleep with him as opposed to this pretending to sleep with him?
No.
Or playing fantasy games?
No, I'm saying sitting there and texting somebody for months. You're really talking to this person.
Yeah, but
I don't want you to talk to somebody for months. Okay. I'd rather you go out on a drunk night and be like, I fucked up. What the fuck do I do?
But you know what else they didn't do for the months that they were talking to him?
I'm sure he slept with her.
They didn't. Let's say that he didn't though.
Let's say he did.
Then he didn't break that. He didn't break that sin.
I'm sure he slept with her.
Why would you? She said all it was dick pics.
Did she say something about dick pics in here? I didn't see nothing about no dick pics.
Oh, I thought he was sending dick pics.
Look at us making up dick pics.
Oh, did I make it up?
I think you did.
Well, what, he's just texting her? Well, if he's just texting her, then what's the problem?
You can't be just texting some girl from your job.
There had to be something in there. I thought
there's nothing in here about dick pics, and I'm not about to ask.
Come on, do a quick breathe.
Well, Dad, there's nothing about dick pics.
Well, let me hear what the texts were all about.
There's nothing about, she doesn't explain what the texts were about.
She just says that he was texting the girl at the job.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not saying he's, look, I need a little more evidence. I need a little something. What did he do wrong?
He needs texting? A dick pic.
I mean, he's just talking to somebody else.
Okay, let us know if there were dick pics involved or not.
I just insinuated or assumed.
You assumed. Okay? You assumed there were.
Maybe I was trying to. There's got to be something. See, I'm not good with. He was texting. Okay, so
I'm good with that.
So let's say he was talking to somebody. Are they married? She said no. Boyfriend.
2 years.
That's still committed. It's like married. Okay, but there's a difference in talking to somebody and actually committing.
Yeah, there is.
Short of the commitment.
Kate, can you stop signaling the sex?
Well, I'm just saying, kind of short of that. Yes. You haven't really. You've broken some boundaries. But
I just think that there's a commitment to sitting and talking to somebody for months.
But I think so. Maybe he's broken some boundaries, but he hasn't broken the law.
No, but we don't know that. We need more. Can you tell us more? We're asking you. You know who you are.
Yeah.
Follow up.
Let us know.
We need to follow up.
We need a little more details.
All right.
Come and hit us on Pipe Speak.
All right. So we're just going to go to the next question.
Okay.
So I'm going on to SpeakPipe. I have not.
Oh, but you know what? I just want to say one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've really been thinking about what we talked about in the last podcast about not only about time dating your intentions.
Date setting.
Mm-hmm. Man, that's so strong. You want to get some stuff done? Do your to-do list and then to put dates on time dated.
Yeah, the date setting is it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's see what someone has to say.
That can really make a really productive 2024.
Hi, Papa Floyd. So I listened to your guys' podcast and I love it. So I wanted to tell you kind of like a predicament that I'm in and see what kind of advice you would give. So I'll try to talk fast since I know you said that you don't like when people talk slow. So I was in a relationship for 5.5 years, and I eventually got to a point where I needed to end that relationship. There was just certain things that were happening, like communication wise, or just unhealthy behaviors where I felt like I couldn't really trust him. He had like a little bit of like gambling issues, wasn't a good communicator, could be mean at times. So I ultimately ended the relationship. And then after I ended it, he began to see our couples therapist individually and has been doing a lot of work and therapy for the last 4 months and has been working on a lot of the things that was not working in our relationship. And essentially, he wants another chance with me. And I'm not sure if I can get to a place of trust and forgiveness because I don't want to enter into a relationship if I can't get to that place. So just curious if you have any advice on what should I do? Is it better to just kind of leave the end of the relationship where it's at and move on or not?
Well, 5.5 years in, I'd give it another 2 or 3 months.
Time. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there must be something about the two of you that did click. You know, not to say that there were definitely rough spots. I hear that. I hear that in your voice. I hear it. But, you know, what else do you want for him? I mean, and I'm not you want a person to go and try to heal or get counseling or get correction, get some consultation, make it right. Mm-hmm. And that's what he sounds like he's trying to do. Now, if you know your heart of hearts is just not in it anymore, that could be, you could have gotten to that spot, you know, where you don't have any more room. You know, if you're at that spot, then I would say cut it loose. Everybody go their own way, become friends. You should still be able to be really good friends after 5.5 years.
That's something you've always said. Anytime I've dated someone that we ever use the word like I love you, my dad is like, there's no reason why you and that person cannot be friends. There's no reason. And I didn't understand it growing up, but now as I'm older, I realize like I get what you're saying, yeah. Especially in like those childish, you know, relationships. But I'm not cool with one of my exes. I'm cool with like my first real boyfriend. His mom calls me still. Okay. Yeah, I'm still cool with him. Yeah. But anybody else, I don't talk.
So in a nutshell, I think you should put another couple months in it. And
I think so.
Particularly if you still have some feelings for him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's doing what you would want him to do.
Yeah.
To make it right, to get better, to get smarter.
That they had to break up though for him to do what he had to do. But I have been there with Zach. Yeah. To where I'm like, you're not doing what I need you to do. And then we break up and he's like, I'm going to figure it out. Or he comes back once he's like, I did all the things you needed me to do during that time. Yeah. But I think the biggest thing that I've learned is that it's all about consistency. So if you decide to get back with this person, it's how they show they're consistent with the habits that they were trying to break in the first place. And that kind of was like my own personal battle was that I wanted to see if Zach was going to be consistent after we got back together, after we had to break up because he wasn't doing certain things or he was doing certain things. So It's like, how is it when we get back together? Are you going to go back to doing dumb shit? Or are you going to go back to, you know, whatever it is? Or are you going to be consistent in moving forward? And I think that was the part that showed me, okay, we can move forward together.
Yeah. I just want to say one other thing to the young lady. You know, she was naming something. Did she say gambling? Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, gambling is one thing. Gambling to where you're losing your money to pay the bills is different. You know, gambling is just no different than playing basketball. I mean, some people just like to do it. It costs money. It's not like it's illegal. It's not like it's hurting anybody. You know, so don't take things too far out of perspective. Maybe it's not something you understand, but if he gets joined, it's like I gamble. I play poker. Now, if I played poker and couldn't pay the rent, it'd be different.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, and I'm not, you know, if he's in that kind of boat, well, then yeah, he needs to put the brakes on. But no mate is going to be perfect. Mm-hmm. You know, so I don't want you to have a hit list for things for him to do. What you're doing is looking to see, is he getting better? Is it that, you know, because you said mean at times, you know, that's not good. You know, I mean, he should learn not to be mean to you, not to be mean to anybody. You know, that's development. But if he's developing and becoming a better person, give him a shot. If your heart's not in it,
move on.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what this one says.
Good morning, Papa Floyd. My name is Honey and I'm from New Zealand.
And why does everybody just talk to you?
Talking to you too.
I just wondered, is there anybody in your life that if you had the opportunity to, you would love to give them their flowers? For me personally, it was my first property manager to the home I'm in today. About 8 years ago, I showed up to the house viewing. I was heavily pregnant, about a month away from giving birth. I was single. I had just finished full-time study, full-time work, um, and I had no rental history. And I showed up to the house viewing. There was three other couples, and I thought to myself, there was no chance in hell that they would give me the property. I think about a week after that, I get a phone call from her, and she said, "Look, if you can promise me that you'll pay rent on time every week, I will give you the property." And I've been able to honor that promise for the last 8 years. Um, so it's meant that I've been able to um, provide myself and my daughter a home, and it's beautiful and it's safe, and it's just been everything to us. And yeah, so that's my person, and I just wondered, who is yours?
We have to go back to the beginning because she asked you a question,
And I didn't hear the question, but I heard
and then
everything else.
she heard that was her explanation.
I just wondered, is there anybody in your life that if you had the opportunity to, you would love to give them their flowers?
Got it. You got what that means?
To give them the flowers?
If you have an opportunity in your life to give somebody their flowers, what it means is like the way I've always heard it is, let's say one of your good friends passes right now, and everyone goes to the funeral and brings them flowers.
Okay.
Have you given anybody their flowers while they're alive? So she's saying this is her person. This person gave her a chance.
Oh, the person that rented to her.
Yes, the person that rented to her gave her a chance. So she's like, I'm giving this person my flowers. Okay. You get what I mean?
Yes.
So she's saying, is there someone in your life
that's giving you a break?
That is would not, maybe it's a different situation or maybe it's a different story, but maybe someone in your life that has stood out that you would want to give them their flowers right now.
I don't know if he's still alive, but back when I was younger, so finished high school. I was playing basketball. I was okay. I was pretty good. I wasn't all city, but I was still pretty good. Went to Weber State to play. Came back, went to Santa Monica. Wasn't very good academically. I wasn't. But when I stopped playing basketball out at Weber, I decided I would take that competitive spirit and become better academically. Went to Santa Monica City College. I met a professor there, Dr. Barkley. Dr. Barkley helped me get a job. I was making $10 an hour doing accounting work, which was a lot of money back then, especially for like a 20-year-old hustling kid. Yeah. And he also suggested that I go to USC, and he helped me get in USC. That's who I'd like to give flowers to. But I've seen him over the years. I went back and I found him, after I kind of did my thing. Because he was at Santa Monica City. He was SC alumni. I went back, and he was handicapped. He was bound to a wheelchair. So I went back a couple times and saw him. I saw him out, I think, like at the Greek Theater one time. Yeah.
Did he remember you?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. But I've always been very grateful for that relationship.
Yeah.
Not only did he did something immediately, got me a bookkeeping job with the company. He knew the boss, and I was, did the job well. But the long term that he gave me, because going to SC, kind of opened up a whole nother light. And I got another circle of friends, so it helped my future growth also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that question.
Yeah. And congratulations.
Thanks, honey.
Yeah, honey.
Yeah.
Hey, in New Zealand, thanks. Good girl, go reaching out up over the seaport, over the big blue.
I want to go to New Zealand.
My mom and sister went, I think last year. They loved it.
They be everywhere.
Yeah.
Mimi, you be going out.
They go. They do go.
All right.
Hi, Cheyenne and Papa Floyd. I have a question for you guys. So I'm 32, my husband's 33. We just got married about 2 months ago, and we've been together for 10 years. And now we're at the point where we're talking about children, having them. But previously, right after we got married, we did have a dog. And we only had the dog for like 2 weeks. It was a lot on me and him. He's a medical professional and I work a 9 to 5. So I just felt like a lot of the responsibility was on me. And right now it just psyched me out in terms of being afraid to have kids, in terms of trying to make time. So I guess my question is, what could I do to, I guess, not be so psyched out about having kids? I know that this is something that I have to get over, but it just upsets me that I wasn't in a space to, care for a dog. And from what people are telling me, the amount of capacity it takes to care for a child and a dog are pretty similar. Please help. Thank you. And hope to hear you guys moving forward. Keep up the good work.
Just smiling, laughing.
I don't know why I'm laughing because it's not funny, but I would say that I have heard very similar that taking care of a dog is like equivalent to taking care of a child. And I just have to say, I don't agree because okay, let me backtrack. Okay. I went to Hampton University.
Yeah, I knew we were going down here.
Okay. I called my mom one day, and I had an apartment by myself, but it was like a 2-bedroom townhouse, and I gave my mom the sob story that I was lonely, I needed a dog, blah, 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 blah.
Pebbles?
I got Pebbles. Pebbles was a miniature poodle, tiny. She would go in my purse, and I would take her to class with me. Pebbles was my girl. All through college, Pebbles would fly back home with me. She did Christmas out here. I took care of Pebbles. I was a dog mom, okay? Loved Pebbles. I got pregnant with Ryder. Pebbles and I were still hanging. And I brought Ryder home. Pebbles tripped out. She tripped out.
I remember I told you Pebbles was out the door.
She tried to bite Rye. And I was like, nope. I went to my grandpa's house. I went to my dad's house. And I said, I'm dropping her off. And I'm not coming back to get her. And my grandpa looked at me and was like, okay. He was like, I'm not about to argue with you, but what do you want to do with this little dog? Luckily, my cousin lives above my papa, and she ended up taking Pebbles. But after that, I was like, I'm going to choose my kid over any dog or any animal any day of my life. I realized in that moment, I'm not a true dog mom. Because other dog moms probably would have given Pebbles a second chance or worked with Pebbles to introduce her to the baby more. I was like, get out. And I had been with Pebbles for years. So I'm just telling you, my level of attachment to Pebbles went out of the window the second my child came into the house.
So I think what she's saying in a roundabout way, when you have a child, don't compare it to how you treated the dog.
Yes.
Because your maternal instincts
is going to kick in so much stronger, so much harder. You're not even going to think about that dog that you have for 2 weeks, okay? Yeah. It's just not the same. And I really think that can be different for every person. Don't get me wrong. I think if I had this conversation with someone else that is a true dog mom, then it would be different. But because you had a dog for 2 weeks, I think me and you are probably very similar in this case. I don't need a dog. I didn't. We had 2 dogs that were here when we first moved in. I told Zach, no offense, I don't want the dogs. We just got this beautiful home. The dogs are tearing our home apart. The dogs chewed our stairs within a week of us closing on our house, and we had to pay around $5,000 to $8,000 to get all the damages fixed. After that, I said, go house these dogs somewhere else. I realized very quickly I'm not a dog mom. So my answer is very easy to say. Do not compare what happened with that dog for 2 weeks versus you having a child. You just might not be a dog mom, but you being a mom, you could do that. I could do that in my sleep. You could do that. I believe that you can be an amazing mother, and maybe you're just not meant to have a dog.
I'm going to hit it a little bit different. What happened? Oh, you just turned it. So she was talking about being psyched out from the dog and worried that since she wasn't a good dog owner, she may not be a good mother. Well, you know, you might be psyched into having kids. You know, kids are not for everybody. I know people that are perfectly happy that have no kids. I know people that are miserable that have kids.
Yeah.
So don't think that just because, you know, you've waited 10 years, you've been together 10 years, you haven't had kids yet, everything's happy. I mean, you don't need kids to make it happy. You do need kids to make that perfect American, quote, dream family. But, one person's dream family is not everybody's. So if kids are not in the program for you and your husband, that's okay. Don't be psyched in thinking that you have to have it.
Because that's the next step.
Yeah. Don't.
Yeah.
And you're still young. Look at vows. I mean, I think it's at a good age too. Commit to family. Yeah,
he's
so she's
33.
Yeah,
she's at a good age.
Yeah, good age. But you know what? You might end up going through your life with no kids, and that's perfectly fine too. Don't let the psych or the hype take you somewhere that you don't want to go.
Yeah. And there's other ways. Like, let's say maybe you really think about it and you're like, actually, I'm not ready to have a kid right now. But like, you can go see a fertility doctor and get your egg count checked to see what's going on in there, to figure out maybe you need to freeze your eggs. Maybe you're one of those women that are going to have kids when they're 38 or a little bit older. So I just think you need to have like that real conversation with yourself to figure out if you truly do want kids. And if it's something that you say, I want maybe this in 5 years, then I would just go and see a fertility doctor just to get all of your questions answered. And you can learn about like the process of freezing your eggs. Or maybe you don't need to. Maybe you're super fertile already. I would just go and ask questions before, you make a big decision like, hey, I want to wait 5 years or something. That's all I would say.
Yeah. Talk to your husband, see if he's ready too. Don't let age make it happen. Don't let age dictate, and don't let society dictate. Okay? Don't get psyched either which way. But thanks for the question.
Yeah, I don't like dogs.
Yeah, she dropped Pebbles like I told her.
I told her too. Pebbles so I said, you know what? I can't even lie to you.
I told her when she was still pregnant, I said, once the baby comes, you gonna drop that dog. She was like, no, Dad, no. He's Pebbles, me for life. Pebbles still alive, still at my niece's. She ain't seen Pebbles in 5 years.
Pebbles had one chance. She tried to bite right at that one chance, and I packed her clothes up. I packed her purse. Yeah. I said, you got to go.
Pebbles was everything too.
She had everything. That girl had bathing suits. Okay, I'm done.
Hi guys. So as a Black dad, which I love advice from because I love my dad, he's Black. Unfortunately, he raised, I'm one of 5 girls. He raised us in a very misogynist way. He raised us very traditional. I am blessed for a lot of the things that he's taught us, the high standards that I have. Unfortunately, he's raised us very submissively. He wants us to be little housewives and be good for men. He tells us to this day that we'll be nothing but a man and we need a man in our life, yada, yada, yada. So this is the first time in my life I've been single for years. I've been in the past 10 years, I think I've been in 2 relationships. I've really never been single as an adult. So now I'm screwed. I want to run to a man. I don't know what else to do. I've always had help. I was sheltered my life, come from a very sheltered life. So I want to run to a man. I fall into relationships and entanglements with guys, situationships, who probably don't really care about me and end up not. And it's just I'm just trying to navigate life. I'm 27. I want to get married soon, but it's how do I get out of that trauma of thinking I need a man? Because I think if you ask me, what do you think? Yes, I do. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think that I do, and I know that I can't think this way. So yeah, how do I just break out from that, just being needy and not being able to trust myself and needing approval and love from a man?
Hmm.
I'll take it.
I was gonna say you take it. It's such a
Okay.
good question.
So there's nothing wrong with being needy. Like, I love my wife. There's certain things that she does I'm just not good at. I like that aspect of having a partner. Okay. And hopefully there's things that I can provide for her as a mate that make her life easier also. Um, you know, in terms of being the submissive person, I think that's your personality. Or that is a part of your person you can choose or choose not to be. Okay. You're old enough and mature enough now that whatever dad or mom, whoever taught you, you can take it and evaluate it and either take it or leave it. You really can. You're old enough and from the sounds of you, mature, wise enough to be able to make decisions like that. You want a guy, but you don't want to get lost in just taking a guy because you need a guy. That's what she was kind of saying, right? Mm-hmm. So here's what I was thinking. Okay. And again, first, I think it's nice to be a couple. I mean, I've been times when I've been with a woman. I've been times when I've been single. I've been times when I've been with a woman. Been times when I've been single. I like it better when I'm with a woman, with a partner. Okay. Write down, have an idea what it is you want out of this man. What are the things? What are the characteristics, the traits that you want him to have? Do you want him to be financially a provider, or can you handle that role? Do you want him to be an emotional support for you, or do you need that? Are kids in the realm, or is he shooting blanks? I mean, know everything that you want out of this person. So now, when you're starting to meet or date, you have kind of, and I hate to say it like this, but you kind of have a checklist. If a great personality, sense of humor is on your checklist, but you find there's times that he's mean, not only mean to you, but mean to the waiter or mean to the gas man who's just coming by to read the meter reading, then you listen, okay, mean, definitely not part of my checklist.
You have like your top 5.
So he's out and keep on shopping because it may not be the first guy that you run across. Let me tell you something. When I got separated from your mom, before I settled down with Teresa, I can't even tell you the number.
How many women you dated?
Yes. And I said, no. You're like, no. Now, I was in a little bit different situation, but you're still in the same situation where you have an opportunity to decide for yourself what you're looking for. Now you're not as apt just to take whatever comes along, whoever's asking you for a date. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think at 27, it's that age where you really do want to be with someone because within the next few years, you're looking for an engagement, you're looking for a marriage, and it sounds like those are the things she wants. I would say it's really good advice to know what your top 5 is as far as things that you want out of your partner to be able to not settle with any old random Joe that's coming your way, which seems like you're kind of, like you said, you have a lot of entanglements right now. I would slow down the entanglements and court. I think courting is one of the things that you taught me.
I said date as many as you want.
It's like, don't go sleep with everybody, but date, court, and know what you like, know what you don't like.
Yes.
So that when you do finally settle down, you know what you like and you're able to verbalize what it is that you want and what you need. That's my tidbit. The other thing I was going to say is I feel like with our generation, I keep hearing submissive in a negative way. And I personally do not find it a problem for me to be submissive to my husband. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not independent. That doesn't mean that I don't hold my own. But we did a therapy session one time.
So you're taking submissive and making that, because it basically has a negative connotation.
And I don't think it should
be. It
doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
We did a therapy session one time, and it got brought up in our therapy session that sometimes I'm too strong. I'm too, I got it. I'm too, I figured it out. I'm too, I don't need you. And the therapist said, Chey, do you know how to get in your soft girl era? And I was like, no, what does that even mean? And she's like, put a soft voice on and say, I need help. Can you help me do this? can you do this for me, please? And I was sitting there like, but I can do it myself. And she's like, yes, but sometimes your man wants to feel needed.
Yeah.
It is okay to let him feel like he's the man and he can do it. And I really, on the way home, I was thinking, damn, what is my soft voice? Like, what is that? And why do I have such a chip on my shoulder to where I have to be so strong that I have to carry the box up the stairs when he's looking at me like, why didn't you just wait 2 seconds? I was going to carry the box up the stairs.
That's kind of my fault.
And that's your fault. I realized that you made me so like, I can do it, leave me alone. Like,
no. Well, it was my teaching of being independent.
Yeah,
but I didn't teach the woman side of it.
You taught me how to be independent, but did you teach me how to be a good wife?
I've talked to you. I'm still talking to you about being a good wife. But you understand, you left the household broke up when you were like 15, 13, 17. So yeah, we weren't talking about wives.
No, we weren't. No, we weren't. But I talked to Mom about that too. I'm like, I feel like you guys talked a lot into us, but do I know how to take care of a man? And I feel like that's one of the things I'm learning.
You are. And I watch you around the household, and you guys do a good job. Both of you actually do a good job of taking care of each other. So I think you've learned it. You didn't learn that from me. You've learned that on your own. Maybe from watching your mom, maybe from watching me. Or
I think I've learned it from watching like other people, watching things that you do, watching things that Mom do. Yeah. But I do think in therapy session, it's like the opposite of this girl. It was like I had to learn that being submissive and being needy is okay. And it's okay. So I only say that to say that it's okay to hold on to some of the things that your dad taught you. But it's also okay to learn how to be independent, because I do think that men sometimes are attracted to a little bit of independence, or a woman that can hold their own in a room.
Yeah.
She had a lot of... There needs to be a balance.
Right. And this is one thing that having to do with the answer, but it sounded like she had some mixed messages from her dad too, because she started talking about unfortunately, and then she started talking about high standards. That I'm grateful they taught us high standards. Like, your dad was juggling, 5 women, 5 girls. Yeah. Don't it's not a perfect world. He probably did the best he could. So and
5 girls.
Yeah, and you sound like you're telling you speak well. So, I'd pat Dad on the back and say, Dad, thanks, for whatever he taught. Let's stay with the high standards part. Don't worry about submissive. Certainly don't blame your dating on him and his spin. Because again, you're older now and you can handle your own business. But I'd say date. You said she went out with 2 people she's had 2 real dates. So she's had 2 real dates that lasted, I'm assuming, a number of years. And her dad, she's only known 3 real men. I mean, maybe cousins, whatever. But get out there and date. Date some.
Date.
Okay? And have your kind of mindset on what you're looking for in a man. You'll find him. You won't settle in for any old Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
What's your favorite thing to cook? And what do you find the easiest to cook when you're pretty much pressed for time?
Tacos.
Yeah, easy.
Tacos are my go-to.
Tacos are good.
And you can make so many different kind of tacos.
Or
what?
Well, big dish.
Oh yeah,
chili,
a big dish.
Spaghetti.
Mm-hmm. That was one of the things my parents did with us growing up. They made big dishes of stuff that we could eat on for the next few days.
Yeah.
So spaghetti, enchiladas.
Right.
Chili, stuff that you just keep
eating.
You can go back. You can go back and keep
just
eating.
Heat it up.
Yeah, but something quick and easy, I run to tacos. Zach and I will eat tacos every day.
You get tired. You try it every day, you get tired.
We eat a lot of tacos, I can't lie. Okay, let's see.
Hi, Chey and Papa Floyd. Okay, this is my situation. So me and my husband, we have been together for 12 years, married for 3. Last year, I filed for divorce, and I'm trying to use Papa Floyd's motto, it's only a problem if you make it a problem. So last year, my oldest daughter had surgery, and she was in the hospital. So he was supposed to take our child, get her off the bus, take her to cheer practice, get her in the house, get her fed, and get her ready for school the next day. So he did not take her to cheer practice. The cheer coach was calling me, wondering where she was. I couldn't get in contact with him. She couldn't get in contact with him. So I had to go to while my daughter was fresh out of surgery, I had to go to the courthouse, get a restraining order on him, add her to the restraining order so the police can go get my daughter.
Can you pause it?
So
How'd we
Did
get
I miss
there?
something? She went from
Maybe he didn't take her to cheer and he was like, I'm keeping her with me. Maybe that's what I'm getting from it.
Is that what it was?
Because that's the only reason why I would call the courthouse to get a restraining order, is because when you get a restraining order, you get to keep the kid with you. Maybe the dad, I'm just assuming, we're definitely going to need more information on this one, but I'm just assuming maybe he took the kid and was like, I'm not taking her to cheer, she's with me and I'm not answering any calls. Assuming.
Is that what? Okay.
That's assuming,
Because
but I don't know.
It was like, okay.
How did we escalate from not going to cheer to going to court?
Right.
Okay, let's just listen to the rest.
All right.
So now he wants to take the child, but I don't feel comfortable with him taking the child because of that situation. So I told him that he would have to get a court order to see the child, just to cut all of the nonsense out so he can have his allotted time and I will have my allotted time. He doesn't want to do that, but the child is really sad and wants to see him, and trying to make it work with him is just terrible. Any advice?
Yes, I have some advice. Relax. They've been together 12 years. Okay, you've had a rough last 3 years, or you've divorced. So let's knock those 3 years off the table. So that's 9 years you've been able to get along with this man. Now you have a child with him and you can't get along? You can't let him see his child because he missed an appointment or something like that? I think you're trying to be the boss. And I think you're trying to be the boss of him too. I think you want to, it's almost like you're playing a power card and using your daughter as a chip. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you call us in, give me some more information. But to me, it sounds like there's a power struggle going on and you want to win. And there shouldn't be a winner here. The child is even saying, I want to see my dad. He's not saying, I don't want to see her. You're saying, I don't want you to see him. Or I don't know. You're saying, I don't want him to be able to see you. Is that did you get it like that? Or did I miss something? I don't know.
I think that for this one, I really hope that you're listening this week, and I want you to come back to SpeakPipe or DM us and give us more information. I feel like I can't give an answer because we went from cheer practice to court order with the restraining order. I don't know how we got to that jump, because I know that if Corey picked up Ryder from school, missed cheer practice, and wasn't answering me or the coach, my immediate response would not be, I need to go get a restraining order to get my kid. It would be, are you guys okay? Like, where is everybody at? You know? And then if you miss cheer, you miss cheer. But if your kid wants to see their dad, and he's been a good dad, there's no abuse, there's no sexual abuse, there's no alcoholism, there's no addictiveness. If he's a good dad, which I'm going to say he was 9 years before it got a little rough, let him see the kids. Don't use the kids as pawns. But we might be completely wrong.
Yeah, we might be.
So fill us in if we're completely wrong. All right, guys. What was the best thing and the worst thing you ate this week?
Best thing that I ate this week, I'd have to say Confections by Shannon.
Aww.
That's my girl.
Okay, I had people hit me up and was like, Shannon doesn't deliver. Does Shannon ship?
Shannon, if you listen to this, you need to start shipping.
I had like 3 people hit me up and was like, well, damn, you promoted her and Shannon don't ship. Hit up Shannon. Let's figure out Shannon shipping.
Okay.
All right.
She shipped it to me.
Well, she knows you.
Shannon, you better stop shipping, girl.
Okay, what was the worst thing you ate this week? You have anything bad?
No, I don't eat anything bad.
Nothing questionable?
No.
All right.
I did pick a chip up off the floor, and it felt like I got a little dog hair with the chip.
What?
Is that your house? I feel like I ate a little piece of.
Oh yeah, the dogs that I did rehouse had a visit the other day. We have visitation. Okay, we're not that bad. Right, we still have visitation. Okay, best thing I've had this week. So it's like 2 things. So the other day my dad came over. He made oxtails. Fire. I was so hungover. It was like the best thing ever. I wanted to pick up the bone and suck it, but Zach was looking at me and he already thinks it's weird they're eating the tail of an ox. So
Zach mixes out.
I had to act right. But that was so good. And I was so hungover. So you know when you're hungover, you can only like eat so much to get over the hangover, and then you finally get over that hump, and then it's like full, you're like ready to eat again.
Okay.
So it happened like that, but all the food was gone.
I took some home.
Is that what it was? I was searching.
I took tea some.
All right, I'm not mad at that, but I was literally looking for the food. It was so good. So I didn't get my fix. Like I needed more. So I ordered Versailles. If you guys live in LA, you have to try Versailles. It's Cuban food. And I got ropa veja. I got black beans and plantains and rice. I got the original chicken, which is like garlic and lemon sauce with onions.
And let me tell you how good their food is.
So good.
When I come over, they always have food in the refrigerator. I went in and I looked and I saw the
containers.
And I just tasted the plantain.
Uh-huh.
And I said, oh, this is Versailles.
Yes.
And then I saw the onions.
Yes.
And I said, I know it's Versailles.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
And Versailles is far from here.
I don't know who. Somehow we got somebody to deliver it here, and it was so good. This is how, if you know my husband, he's not a leftovers guy. He ate Versailles for 2 days.
Oh, did he really?
I was like,
Okay. Yeah, Versailles is the bomb.
Worst thing I ate this week. Zach and I have been on a Trader Joe's kick of trying different things from Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
For somehow on my algorithm on my phone, it's like Trader Joe's people like pages that are dedicated to just trying Trader Joe's, and they go and they try all the little pre-made foods or whatever.
Yeah.
So I get stuck on these rabbit holes, and I'm like, I gotta go try the beef birria or whatever it is. Yeah. So we've been on one of those kicks, and we tried a chicken chili, but like a chicken Mexican bowl, and it just wasn't it. It was not it for me.
Yeah.
Trader Joe's has some really good hits though. Chicken tiki masala, fire.
Really?
Every day of the week, fire. So good, never disappoints. But today I was like, we don't have to get that one again. So that was probably like the worst thing that I've had this week.
Right.
Yeah.
Best advice you've had in a week?
The best advice I had this week?
Yeah.
Oh wow, you really put me on the spot.
Or the worst?
Or the worst advice I've had this week?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's honestly given me advice this week.
Okay.
I'm trying to think.
Well, my best advice, I'm hitting it for the third time, is that time date. That
date setting. Date setting.
That I'm telling you, I was thinking about it on the drive out here today.
Jasmine gave me that advice.
I can get so much more done. I was thinking about some of the things I wanted to do this year. Mm-hmm. Still haven't been done. Clean the garage. I got an extra room I haven't cleaned out. Mm-hmm. Desk full of stuff. I'm going to put a date on it.
Date set.
Make it happen.
Date set. I got invited to do, for next year, a Capital One panel, and it's like based off of financing. And my friend hit me up and was like, hey, can you do this Capital One panel for me? And I'm like, what? Finance? I don't do nothing with finance. He goes, you make money. You handle all your finances, right? You know how to make money? You know how to count your money? I was like, okay.
Yeah, maybe I am the one.
Fine. And then he was like, don't you plan goals to make more money? I was like, okay, yeah. He's like, exactly. So you can come and talk to people about being a creator and influencer and how you make money. And then I was thinking in my head, date setting. I'm going to talk about how I date set. This past 2 months, I've been date setting to hit my financial goals. And it had my mind thinking, and I'm like, oh, I can do it. I need to go get a little fancy fake suit, a
little business suit.
Little business suit, little fake suit for the day.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, I can do that. And Zach was looking at me like, girl, you can do that. Like, don't count yourself. That's the best advice I got this week. Zach told me, don't count myself out of things.
Okay, there you go.
So
I'm going to give you another piece of advice. When you borrow some money from somebody, make sure you pay them back on schedule.
All right, guys. We got to go. Time is up.
So you pay back on schedule, then people will always lend you money again. But if you find reasons to go he and ha, no, I don't have it on schedule, but I still got it. It was coming, but I didn't make all this money. Okay, you get my drift. See you guys later. Thanks for tuning in to Unfiltered Kitchen. Don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe every once in a while. No, you only subscribe once. Once you subscribe, you're in.
Yeah.
Okay, so take a moment and subscribe. what I really dig though is the comments. If you talk to me, I'll talk to you. Comments, reviews on the podcast stations, podcast and Spotify and whatever else is out there. I don't know.
Wherever else you get your podcast.
Yeah, wherever else you get your podcast. Okay. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We appreciate you. Oh, we have a version of Unfiltered Kitchen.
But by the time this will come out, it will already be out.
If you haven't seen it, go take a look.
Yes.
I tear it up.
Yes.
We tear it up.
Beef cheek taquitos.
I'm really on a beef cheek.
He's on a beef cheek
right now.
All right.
I think I'm going to go to goat next.
Okay, goodbye, Dad.
All right, see you guys later.